It's Thursday, October 17th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central, the longest continuously running tech podcast. This is show number 899, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our October GoDaddy special, customers get economy hosting for $1.99 per month and a free.com. All you got to do is use that promo code HOST3 at GoDaddy.com or get a .org for $9.99. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. You know, I think Time Warner is listening to this show because they're trying to bribe me. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. I got a great show lined up for you tonight. Let's launch this, baby. It's go time.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Showtime.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. And I got a great lineup for you tonight. Lots of tech to talk about. And I tell you, I'm sitting here running on fumes today. It's been one of those weeks where it's been 100% task saturation. And I went out to, we have a little pantry, and about 30 minutes before the show, opened the drawer up and looked down in there, and there was no Red Bull. So I had to pound some iced tea to try to get prepped. But anyway, running on fumes. So it should be an interesting night. See if I can trip all over myself this evening. But hey, everyone, welcome. And of course, if you're a longtime listener of the show, thanks for being here. And of course, thanks for staying subscribed. And it's been fantastic, this run to 900. And I tell you, the next show will be great. Look forward to kind of reminiscing a little bit. But got a lot of stuff to share with you tonight. So, of course, if you're brand new to the show, we definitely want you to take some time and get over to geeknewscentral.com and check out all of the content on the website. All of our great writers on the website of putting out daily articles and so forth. Got a great team over there. Of course, you can get subscribed to the show right there in the second column of the website. And there's a link at the top as well for the newsletter. That way, you're guaranteed that you'll always get the show notes delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the show. You can also find all the links to the show at gncshow.com/899. And all the everything I cover, all the links to all the articles will be up there tonight. If you're not watching live, we're up on YouTube tonight. But if you're not watching live, you can check us on the Tech Podcast channel on the Roku, Samsung Smart TV, Google TV, Chromecast. So really just about every place that there's glass, you can catch us at. Whether it be your Android, your iPhone, your iPad, whatever it may be, you can watch or listen to the show. Of course, a proud member here of the Tech Podcast Network over at techpodcast.com, so definitely check out all the family of shows over on that website. I've got a number of ways for you to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via Twitter at Geek News, or you can email me here directly at geeknews@gmail.com. And just about 13, 14 days left before we shut down the hotline, but the hotline remains to be open till the end of the month at 619-342-7365. So that's going bye-bye. And we'll have some new alternative stuff for you guys to use here after we shut down the hotline. But just keep you advised on that. Just real quick, obviously GoDaddy's longtime sponsor here, and they have put together an absolutely incredible deal for you this month. And I'm amazed at some of the stuff that they've been able to continue to push forward. And if you come over to geeknewscentral.com, all you got to do is, of course, there's banners on the website that have a variety of offers. But also, you can scroll down and you're going to see a link for the GoDaddy promo codes. So just click on that, and that's going to load the page with all my promo codes of everything that we have this month. You got some great offers here. For $1.99, you get that economy hosting for 12 months. $1.99 per month for 12 months, and a free domain name by using the promo code HOSTOFF3. Also got an offer where you can get 30% off your order at GoDaddy by using the promo code 30deal3. You get a .org for the first year at $9.99. Use promo code ORG4. Oh, what did I do? Yeah, 30% off your order. Use 30deal3. .org for $9.99. Use ORG4. I'm just too many codes. And you can also get a .com for $1.99 as well by using 199 Geeks. All those codes, again, all the special deal ones for October are available on the website, along with everyday offers that are non-expiring as well. So those are available on that page at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. That's the place to go to save money. And they've made some deals that make it hard to resist picking up a product or two. So I've been renewing. I had about 110 domains or something like that were due for renewal. I renewed those the other day. That was a little bit of a whoo-hoo. That, when you renew that many domains at once, that's a little bit of a sticker shock. And I always do them for 2 years. So I've got some that are coming up here, and we'll go through those over the next few months. But wow. And of course, all I do is, I sell 1 or 2 domains a year. So it really kind of pays for itself. So it's kind of one of those little things that I dicker in a little bit from time to time. Just so you guys know, too, we are still proceeding with our crowdfunding effort, and off to a nice start. Had a few people come in with some real nice donations. Had some of the Ohana already be in and support our crowdfunding for CES 2014. Of course, this is for our entire team, not just my show, but all the other shows. So we want to hope that you'll step up and support. Donor levels start at $10. And again, if you are a listener of this show and you contribute at least $100, you're going to get a special serialized gift from me at the end of the campaign. And those of you that contribute at least $500 will get a free ad on this show for a whole month. So it's a little bit of a sponsorship opportunity, plus all the stuff that we're offering in the actual campaign as well. And we're actually going to be announcing some stuff for podcasters as well in the next day or two, which would be pretty cool for podcasters to get some additional exposure when we're hitting our huge audience numbers during the live event during the show. Well, the next episode is obviously the 900th show, and I'm going to spend some time this weekend kind of getting prepped for that. And those of you that have been here for 100, 200, 300, and so forth, we'll have a lot of fun on the show. Of course, we're going to cover a lot of tech as well. But between now and then, we're definitely got a lot of action going on here. We're going to have a new media show, and due to some scheduling stuff that's going on here, we're going to push the new media show to Saturday at 9 Hawaiian, 12 Pacific, or 3 o'clock Eastern. We're not going to be starting as early. I have to do some running around, taking some kids somewhere, but get back to the house and be ready to do the show. But we're going to have Rob, and I'm going to destroy his last name, Cristino. Rob has a website.com. It's got a huge following. He's going to be on the show along with Rob and I this coming Saturday. So if you want to tune in and hear about Rob and what he's doing, we'll have the new media show on Saturday. Hey, I'm very pleased to announce that we've got a fan of the show that has basically decided to do double duty, has volunteered to do double duty. So we've got a prize contest and insider coordinator. His name is Sam Cervene, and we're going to get Sam started next week at the 900 show to start help to work with the insiders, and also at the same time be my prize and contest coordinator. We'll have a special email that we're going to set up for him. So it'll be really great that Sam's going to be able to collect and track and make sure that I'm getting everything delivered that we're supposed to get delivered for our prizes. and that's really going to help out here, and just being just a one of those small things to help out. And I really appreciate Sam volunteering up, and we'll get a little more details on Sam. And matter of fact, maybe we'll get him to do a little audio file to introduce himself, maybe on 900 show or something like that. So I want to just share with you. I got this. Normally when you get stuff from your cable company, you throw it in the trash. You open it up, make sure it's not a bill. But I got this, and I'll be honest with you, I've never seen this happen before. I got this letter from. Let me make sure I don't show my account number here, but I got this letter from Oceanic, and Oceanic here in Hawaii is a division of Time Warner. And they say, and check this out. It said, of course, I've been talking on this show that we're fast approaching wanting to, go cut the cord again. So it says, "Aloha, Todd. We truly appreciate your loyalty to Oceanic Time Warner Cable. We recognize you as a special customer and want to extend a sincere mahalo." And of course, mahalo in Hawaiian is thank you. And Todd, and it goes to, some more stuff, blah, 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 blah. And it says, "Todd, as a thank you for your loyalty, we've chosen a gift that will continue to enhance your viewing experience. Showtime free for 12 months. Bottom line, we know you have a choice, and we're honored to be yours, so enjoy your mahalo gift." And so I'm thinking, they're going to give me Showtime for a year? And, we haven't ever had Showtime. And so, first thing I do is I flip it over. I'm looking on the backside of the paper. There's got to be some catch, right? So reading down on the little thing at the bottom, it talked about the terms and conditions, and I couldn't find anything there that would be, one of those situations where you would, be stuck into a contract or something for 3 years. And really all it was is after 12 months, if you don't cancel, they're going to start, paying you. And they give some very precise instructions on how to claim the award. So I had to go to the website. I had to go to the support. I had to enter my zip code. I had to fill in my name and address. And then I had to select upgrading existing service. And then a guy came on chat and told me what I wanted. And he said, "Okay, give me your campaign ID." I gave him the campaign ID. And 3 minutes later, I've got Showtime. So it makes me wonder. I've never, ever, ever had a cable company give me a free service for 12 months. It was a little bit shocking, to be honest with you. They're always trying to dig more money out of your pocket. They're trying to sell you, they're selling security systems, telephone lines, you name it. They're selling all kinds of stuff these days, and they're going to give me Showtime for 12 months. I'm sure it cost them nothing to do that. But, my wife and I were, I showed this to her, and she kind of rolled her eyeballs, and because we had been talking about the cable bill, and obviously not pleased with the cable bill. And so I said, "Honey, they heard us talking." She says, "Well, more than likely they heard you talking." Now, I'm sure that a lot of people got this, and maybe it was some sort of a conjunction thing with Showtime trying to get their numbers up. I don't know. But it was a little surprising. Have you guys ever got a free gift from your cable company that included 1 year worth of premium programming? And I don't know if we can qualify Showtime as premium programming or not, because normally when I was watching Showtime stuff, it was like second run stuff. And even, HBO has a lot of original content, and that's one of the only premium channels I pay for. So we'll see. I guess we'll give it a shot, but they just got a bunch of free advertising, obviously, from me here talking about this. But it was just pretty incredible that they would actually offer that up. Normally it comes with some special, you get 3 months or whatever. So anyway, I guess maybe because I haven't called them in a number of years, they decided to rattle the chain. And they didn't try to upsell me during the chat or anything either. So that was probably the most surprising thing. Okay, so just, it's getting fall for many of you. And here in Hawaii, we have had, I don't know how to describe it. Because we have a winter, and it's normally the difference between summer and winter here is like 10 degrees and a little bit more rain. But we've started early. We've had this I guess for a better word, stagnant air. The trades have been gone for about a week. And then every day they say there's a disturbance in the air. So it absolutely has poured here a couple days in a row. We got 3 inches earlier over the past weekend, and then we got like a couple inches yesterday. Got an inch today. So obviously things are growing very well. My son's very happy because the grass is growing quick, and he's going to be able to cash in on that ka-ching, mowing the yard again. But it's just been a little bit odd, and everyone's talking about it here. And it could turn out that we may end up having a very, very wet winter. So I'll keep you advised if you're coming to Hawaii. Anyway, that is your local weather report. Let's get into the content. And again, those of you that have decided to contribute support with our crowdfunding initiative, thank you so very much. We definitely want many, many more of you. If we can hit 500 people from this show that come in and even at the $25 level, that would be huge. It really, really would. So we hope that you'll consider coming in and supporting the crowdfunding initiative, really, because all the work that we do, and it's a huge, huge amount of work, and I played the video for you guys the other night, is all for you starting in January. Really, we dedicate 6 to 8 weeks of bringing you this huge amount of new content about new tech and new gear and gadgets and so forth. So hope that you'll support us here. Again, don't forget bit.ly/TPN crowd. That'll take you to the crowdfunding site. And one thing I like about the Fund Anything site, as soon as you make your contribution, it hits our PayPal account. And we have to pay a percentage back to Fund Anything. I'm going to tell you, that's the business to be in, is running one of those websites. These guys have got a racket going on, big, big time. And for me, I was just kind of like, that might be a new business opportunity at some point. But anyway, I digress. But very, very cool. They don't have to do any of the work. They just provide the website. Okay, so let me go ahead and close this out. Let's get into the tech stuff today. And let me see. We'll make sure I'm good over here. And let me close that out. Not a super huge lineup of stuff today, but there was enough to make me go, The first article should make any parent a little bit leery. We've known that some kids have gotten kicked out of schools for, making a Pop-Tart, taking a Pop-Tart and making it the shape of a gun. Kids have gotten suspended from schools. They've done this. Just by pointing at someone and basically making the gun sign with 2 fingers, and kids have gotten suspended from school for that. But there was a special needs student, who drew a picture of a bomb during the weekend at home. The mom said her son is a fan of the video game Bomberman, and draw the cartoonish explosive. And it looks like something you'd see on Bugs Bunny, Wile E. Coyote or something. It was just, I'll show it to you guys. Those of you that are watching. Basically drawn on a lined sheet of paper, and big black with a fuse coming out the top, and, hand scribbled to the bottom, bomb, in less than perfect handwriting. So the special needs student took this to school, and immediately this student was suspended for drawing a bomb. Yes, suspended. Parents called, come home, and said, your son's out of here. He's making threats. Now, this obviously escalated in the news very, very quickly. The school administration rescinded the decision within 2 hours. Now, it took 2 hours for an administrator at this school to decide that this special needs student who brought to school a hand-drawn picture of a Wile E. Coyote bomb, would not face suspension, to be invited back. But this is going to blow you away. They they brought the student back in, I guess, the next day, and they reiterated to the mom that they knew he was nonviolent. They knew he was not actually having a bomb, creating or making a bomb, but that they could not go without making an example of him and take some type of action because they were worried about the perception. The perception being is that the perception is actually the word they used, where perception is reality, and parents might think you have a bomb or might be violent. Now, for me, I think I would have probably had a hard time controlling myself with the school. But it just goes to show you, I remember as a kid, I'm a terrible, terrible drawer. And I suck. I have in my brain, I know how I want stuff creatively. But if I try to put it to paper or use some graphics program or something like, forget it. It's not happening. It's just not my tool set, right? So I used to draw these scenes as a kid, and trucks and tanks and you name it. And they were basically these massive, little did I know, they probably could have been, like a game board type of thing. And it really was, something I did as a very young child, 5, 6, 7 years old. Now, imagine if back in my day, I took it to school and showed my friends, because I worked long and hard on these scenes, and they were in pretty big sheets. Sometimes I would take 2 or 3 sheets and put them together, and I had a pretty good imagination, but my drawing sucked. When I drew a car, it was not pretty, right? So let's think about coming from that reality to now, when schools are losing their minds over someone using a finger to make a gun, and this is like an elementary school. I understand schools having a zero tolerance on weapons. We all can agree with that. We don't want knives. We don't want bludgeons. We don't want guns. We don't want Uzis. We don't want this stuff in our schools. We know that. But for kids who have huge imaginations, this kid, and this is special needs kids. So, what's going to happen to this kid now? He's probably been traumatized, and he was just drawing and using his imagination. I'm really, and you almost have now, I've signed the kids the stuff that, for going to school, they've done their homework. But what do I need to do? Do I need to flip through their entire, everything that's in their school notes to make sure that they haven't drawn a picture of something that could be perceived as a weapon? I just don't really get it. I don't. So the whole reality here of where schools are going is completely crazy. But I have this link up in Tech Dirt to you. But, the stuff you make in science class these days is more dangerous than anything else. It really, really is. I want to share something fun with you guys, and I'll have it link up in the show notes. You guys like sushi? We do. We like sushi, and we every couple months we splurge and we go out and have sushi. We recently did here about a week and a half ago, so I think I told you about it. Conveyor belt sushi restaurants are usually, they're not that great. Some are, some aren't. If you're around a town, you find out which ones are good and which ones aren't. But in Japan, the conveyor belt sushi thing has gone to perfection. Now, what I really get upset about when I go to a conveyor belt sushi place is that never the fish that I want is on the conveyor belt. And I have to call the girl over, say, I want this, 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 and this, and we order, and then I get tired of waiting for it to be made, and then we start grabbing more stuff off the conveyor belt. The next thing we do, we have way too much stuff and spend too much money. So now, in Japan, they're putting a conveyor belt above the conveyor belt, and they have an online digital ordering thing where you punch in your extra orders, and it kicks it to you. So those of you that love sushi, I want you guys to watch this BBC video, And I think you'll admit you hope that one of these things will come to the United States soon. The Japanese are very, very smart in how they're being efficient. And link will be up in the show notes for you to check out. But I'm thinking to myself, man, if I'm in Japan, this is where I'm going to eat sushi. And anytime I can just go ahead and tap it in and the order in, and it's fantastic. All right. Yeah, not a lot of tech yet, right? But let's talk about something that the EFF filed today that's near and dear to my heart. And on the advice of my attorney, I'm not going to say too much. But crowd-backed EFF has filed an appeal. Not an appeal. I guess they filed a challenge against Personal Audio LLC, who Personal Audio LLC is currently suing podcasters such as Adam Carolla and How Stuff Works. They raised $76,000 in public donations, and they did identify crucial prior art. So this formal challenge at killing the patent being wielded by Personal Audio LLC is now in process, and took $23,000. They had to pony up to essentially go ahead and initiate this appeal. So it's a huge amount of money for them to, the lawyers and everything else, to actually to file this challenge. And 69 pages. I read every single page today. I'll have the link up in the show notes for you to review. This is important, and work that the EFF is doing, and we'll see how this proceeds. But the challenge is out there to go after Personal Audio LLC. Now, I won't have this linked in the show notes, okay? But if you guys just go to networkworld.com and search for EFF and podcast, you'll find it. But don't dare have this linked up in the show notes, okay? All right, next thing up is we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Prenda. And I think you guys are going to laugh. Brett Gibbs, he's one of the folks that's under the hammer with the judge, Judge Otis Wright. Brett Gibbs released a financial spreadsheet, showing 70% of the Prenda proceeds went to Steele and Hanesmer. Now, John Steele and Paul Hanesmer, if they didn't realize they were in serious trouble already, things are just getting a little more difficult for them. Steele and Hansmeier have been bending over backwards to insist they had nothing whatsoever to do with Prenda Law, and then they got no money from any of the settlements. The courts haven't been buying this argument, and earlier this week, Judge Chen in Northern California noted that he wasn't convinced that Steele and Hansmeier, he was convinced that Steele and Hansmeier really were Prenda. So the evidence has just gotten a little stronger here. It appears that Steele and Hansmeier's attempt to throw lawyer Brett Gibbs under the bus has just came back to haunt them. And Gibbs made a filing in the Judge Otis Wright case in the Central District of California that basically shows all the financials. And these folks shook a lot of people down. $2.4 million or something like that was the total. And it shows how things were being split. According to the Prenda Law Profit and Loss Detail, in 2012 alone, Prenda made payments to old owners, which is what's listed, Hansmeier and Steele, and Under the Bridge Consulting, their jointly owned company, to almost 70% of the Prenda total revenue. Hansmeier received $645,000, $185,000 directly, and $460,000 through Under the Bridge. Steele received $660,000, $200,000 directly, and $460,000 through Under the Bridge. That doesn't include tens of thousands of dollars in additional payments to on behalf of Steele and Hansmeier for travel and entertainment and meals and credit cards. And it gets even crazier. Steele's wife also includes payments totaling $37,000 to Duffy or Duffy Law Group, also classified to payments to old owners. So they their hands are in the cookie jar here. Prenda received income from pirates of $1,931,000 and made payments of $1.34 million out. So pretty crazy stuff here. Prenda had a loss of $487,000 in 2012, but that doesn't include the payments they made, the cash payments. So these guys they're in more trouble. It's going to get very, very interesting, and I want to see where this goes next. This is better. This is better than a mystery novel, folks. It really, really is. We'll see where this leads, but I'm sure we're all going to be entertained for weeks to come over these proceedings. All right, Apple can read your iMessage. This is what a security firm says. French security firm says communication sent over Apple's iMessage can be decrypted, and despite what Apple said earlier this year. So apparently this group is basically saying, hey, at the Hack in the Box conference in Kuala Lumpur, a Paris-based security firm presented the findings, said that Apple would in fact be able to decrypt messages either because of government request or on an employee's own accord. And they lay out a pretty compelling case. Now, the good news is that it would be very difficult for a potential eavesdropper to unscramble the encryption, something that requires, among other things, physical control of the device and the installation of malicious software such as fake certificates. But because Apple controls the entire infrastructure, the certificates are held on Apple's side. So we'll see. Apple can change the key anytime they want, thus read the content of our iMessages. So interesting move here. And I don't know, I'm sure many of you use iMessages a lot. A little factoid thing here, more than 40% of YouTube traffic is now mobile. This is huge. In 2011, just 6% of traffic from Google-owned video service came from mobile devices. But now that figure actually is 41%, CEO Larry Page said on Google's quarterly earnings call. That means that people are doing a lot of video, watching a lot of video on mobile devices. Motorola, though, part of Google's business, is not doing well and lost some money. We'll talk a little bit more about the earnings statement here a little later in the show. Now, just recently, I received an email from a guy in New York City. He says, hey, Todd, I'm looking for content. And I've got a digital television broadcast station, unlicensed. It basically is one of those in-between channels, like 46-1 or something like that, 55-1. I'm not real familiar with how those work. But he says, hey, I'm looking for content, and we'd be happy to carry your show and others for just a measly $40 an hour. I'm thinking to myself, for a handful of zip codes in New York, not even in the major metropolitan areas, you want me to pay you $40 an hour to have my content on your broadcast station? How about you pay me $40 an hour for the access to my content? I'll give you all the content you want. Is broadcast digital, some of those in-between channels, in trouble? I don't really understand how that whole space works. The whole pirate radio and, these low-powered FM stations is very intriguing to me, but it would probably end up in spending a lot of money. Any of you guys know of anyone that's running one of those low-powered FM stations, a licensed one? And if you did, what did they go through? What kind of pain? I'd love to at least, or point me in a direction of a good podcast or resource to check that out. Now, tying that back to this whole demand for content, there's so many channels now on cable. And I think our cable box has 1,000 channels, and it's generally 1,000 channels of crap with about 10 or 15 good ones. So what they're going out now is in British TV has for many, many years been ignored. Not very much British TV programming comes into the U.S. market. So what's going on now, U.S. networks are no longer giving British shows the cold shoulder. And they're trying to get British programming into the U.S. market, which is good for the British television industry. He says there's a lot of channels and contents, and broadcasters must hunt things out that are really good. The U.S. market accounts for a greater share of British TV exports than ever, up 50% since 2007, to make up almost half, or 475 million pounds of export revenue last year of content. So what you may see is in the United States, you may see more content like cans, a variety of different programming like Moonfleet, which is from British Sky Broadcasting Group, The Tunnel, which is a crime series from France Canal, Breathless from ITV is another one. It's following a group of London doctors and nurses. So they're trying, obviously Doctor Who's been big here for a long time, Downton Abbey and so forth. So they're trying to, U.S. markets trying to get in more British content. And just, there's such a demand for media right now. It's a feeding frenzy in the media space. I actually read something as well as where, like this live streamed event that was produced on New Tech TriCaster, that was on broadcast television and also on the web, with the guy that walked Lou Wanza, or whatever his name is. He walked the high rope act at the Grand Canyon, or wherever he did that, wherever he walked over that gorge. And they're looking for more of that type of exciting content. And this happened to be, those types of events. When I was a kid, I remember ABC World of Sports used to have, every weekend something. They would have an Evel Knievel jump. They'd have some guy, walking across, wrecking car. You name it. Well, these live events, and they're thinking this is getting back into some more traditional content that's having this resurgence. So if you've got some kind of a show that's out there that's doing wild type of stuff, you could get picked up, which is kind of an interesting thought point to go from digital to broadcast. Obviously, has to be pretty high quality, but the potential's there. There's a write-up over on Slashdot talking about science gone wrong, and they're saying modern scientists are doing too much trusting and not enough verifying, to the detriment of the whole science and of humanity. Too many of the findings that fill the academic ether are the result of what they're calling shoddy experiments or poor analysis. A rule of thumb among biotech venture capitalists is that half of the published research cannot be replicated. Even that may be optimistic. They said last year, one biotech firm, Amgen, found that they could reproduce just 6 of 53 landmark studies in cancer research. Earlier, a group at Bayer doing a drug, earlier, a group at Bayer, a drug company, managed to repeat just a quarter of 67 similarly important papers. They're saying a lot of people are flubbing it out there. So with a lot of patents being submitted that may not be valid because they really aren't accomplishing what they said they did, and clinical trials are at risk because these what they're finding can't be proven. So it's a little bit crazy in Wild West front in biotechnology right now. I know here in Hawaii, they're having a problem with several over-the-counter supplements. One of them was when they did the breakdown of this, and this was something you could buy at like GNC. When they did the breakdown of the supplement, weight loss supplement, there was meth. Yes, meth. Qualities to what was in this supplement. So they just changed a few molecules here and there where it wasn't traditional meth, and we're able to sell it over the shelf. So there's all kinds of weird stuff going on out there. So when you're out and about, and if you're looking for weight loss stuff, be real careful what you're buying. Buy from reputable companies. Do some research online. If you're buying any of these type of supplements, stimulants, that type of stuff, because it could really end badly. We've had some cases here of failed liver, people's livers failing because of some other stuff that they took that's been voluntarily removed from the shelf here in Hawaii as well. And I don't know why it's specifically Hawaii, but it is kind of scary that, stuff that's being sold over the counter you think is safe may not be as well. Okay, so switching gears here, let's talk a little bit about the Apple event next week. 7 things to expect, and there's predictions being made, and the article over in CNET kind of breaks them out. And what I'm really excited about is the Mac Pro. Potentially the Mac Pro will be released along with pricing. I'm prepared to have a heart attack. The Mac Pro I have down here is operating well. It's not having an issue, but it's been a while. It's almost time to consider making the next jump, and I can still get enough money out of this to make it worthwhile to put it up on eBay or on Craigslist and sell it, and then use that as for half of my payment or whatever it may be for this new box. But what's coming obviously is new iPads. They're gonna be showing off a completely redesigned full-size iPad as well as souped-up iPad Mini. There've been a myriad of leaks of both tablets, so we'll see where this goes. We know that we're going to probably see OS X Mavericks. I'm sure that's going to be released. So the final version of the software we know was delivered to developers earlier this month. So Mavericks is definitely going to be probably released next week as well. The Mac Pro, obviously, that's where we're looking at. They're saying the early estimates for the cost of the machine based simply on its components peg the machine somewhere in the ballpark of $2,800 just to start. And that's $300 more than what Apple currently sells its existing model for. Now, here's the thing about that $2,800 price tag. That's the starting price. You work up from there. More RAM, better video card. It can get really, really pricey. $5,000-$6,000 easy. But so we'll see where this leads. And but it's being made in the United States, so that's exciting as well. MacBook Pros, those are overdue for updates, so we'll see where that leads. The regular old non-Retina version haven't been updated since last June's. We potentially could see a new Mac Mini as well. That hasn't been updated since last October. They're also thinking there could be a new Thunderbolt 2 monitor. Apple hasn't updated its 990 display since its introduction in 2011. So we could see that making updates, and along with that is iLife tweaks. So here's my thought process. If the Mac Pro comes in at a price that I can swallow, which may not be the case, and I can get the CEO here to sign off, which is Mrs. Cochran, may make the jump to Mac Pro, and if we did, we replace the Windows desktop. But we'll see. We'll see where this leads. But I'm very, very intrigued about the power and video processing prowess of this thing. I'm pretty excited about it. Lots of power is good. Some rumors out there right now that we think that Ford's Motor Company's chief executive Alan Mulay may be being wined and dined by both Boeing and Microsoft. So something's going to happen with him. Going to Boeing makes the most logical sense because he's got that aviation background. But going to Microsoft, I think, would be pretty exciting from a new challenge for him, and I think it would be really good. I think he'd be a good pick. He's got some great vision. He's took forward, really helped them along. So I'm excited about it. All right, where do you guys think that these wearable cameras are going to? And I'm thinking about this a little bit. These wearable cameras are designed to take a picture every so often, and they're recording and basically documenting your life. And for me, I just see all kinds of issues, because if you're wearing something long enough, you're going to forget about it. You're going to walk into the bathroom and it's going to be taking pictures, into a public bathroom taking pictures, or you're going to be in your private bathroom, it's going to be taking pictures. There could be places you wear it where pictures aren't allowed. There's all kinds of issues by wearing a camera that's just, every 30 seconds just taking a snap. And it's exciting to a lot of people. And I could see wearing them for events, like wearing it to CES during our coverage would be really cool. To have this continuous snap stream. Let's say we had all 20 people wearing these things and they were all feeding into the same stream. I think that would be fantastic just from a coolness factor. It would be really, really cool. But I don't have the $300 to buy one for everyone on the team either. So these things are going to be big. Are you guys interested in wearing one of these wearable cameras? The one that I've been looking at here is called Autographer. It's a life logging camera. It's developed by OMG Life. It's currently only available in Europe, though, for 399 pounds. US 6, or is that euros? No, yeah, 399 euros or 600 US dollars. So Memento, MEMOTO, is the closest competitor, just under 300. A lot cheaper, but still on pre-order. So what do you think? You guys want to wear one of these or not? Love to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com, voicemail hotline, or 619-342-7365, or on Twitter @geeknews. October 26, 2013, in Washington, D.C., a rally against mass surveillance. If you're interested, if you're close and you want to participate, I'll have the link up in the show notes. I even have a page for folks that want to put a little embed on their website. All right, I'm going to share with you guys. Oh, by the way, those of you that are watching the video, what do you think of the new haircut? My wife wasn't super happy, but I like it. Kids liked it. All right, this next story is very, very, very serious. I want you all to listen up, okay? There's something out there called CryptoLocker. And believe me, you don't want to experience this thing. It's malware that takes a computer hostage until a user pays a ransom. Now, this malware is getting meaner, and thanks to growing prevalence of Bitcoin and other digital payment systems, it's easier than ever for online crooks to capitalize on these ransomware schemes. An Ars Technica reader by the name of Nick, who fixes PCs for a living, recently helped a client repair the damage inflicted by a particular nasty title known as CryptoLocker. It started when an end user in the client's accounting department received an email purporting to come from Intuit. The attached archive zip had an executable inside and should have been a dead giveaway that this message was malicious and in no way affiliated with Intuit, but the accounting employees are used to receiving emails from financial companies. When the receiver clicked on it, he saw a white box flash briefly on his screen, but didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. He then locked his computer and attended several meetings. Within a few hours, the company's IT department received word of a corrupt file stored on a network drive that was available to multiple employees, including the one who received the malicious email. A quick investigation soon uncovered other corrupted files, most all of which had been accessed by the accounting employee. By the time CryptoLocker had run its course, hundreds of gigabytes worth of company data was no longer available. Now, what this malware did, and let me bring this up on the page, and this is some scary stuff. It basically encrypted all of the media that user had access to. Then it basically said, your personal files are encrypted. Your important files, encryption produced on this computer, photos, videos, documents, etc., and they give them a list of the encrypted files. Encryption was produced using a unique public RSA 2048 key generated for this computer. To decrypt the files, you need to attain a private key. The single copy of the private key, which allows you to decrypt the files, located on a secret server on the internet. The server will destroy, now listen to this, the server will destroy the key after a time specified in this window. After that, nobody and never will be able to restore the files. To obtain the private key for this computer, which will automatically decrypt the files, you need to pay us $300 US or 300 euro, similar amount in another currency. Click Next to select your method of payment. says any attempt to remove or damage this software will lead to the immediate destruction of the private key by the server. So then it gives you the ability to buy a Bitcoin. Send 2 Bitcoins to get your encryption key. You have to send 2 Bitcoins to Bitcoin address, and it gives them an address, and specify the transaction ID on the next page, which will be verified and confirmed. Once you do that, you receive an email that tells you how to decrypt and apply the decryption key, and after several days, your media is now unlocked and available for access. Now, earlier this year, researchers from Symantec, who infiltrated the servers of one ransomware syndicate, conservatively estimated that its operators were easily able to clear $5 million per year. So no wonder crypto lockers had such a long run. As of last week, more than 3 weeks after it's first published, the Reddit thread was still generating 5 to 10 new posts per day, also a testament to the prevalence of the staying power of crypto locker. Researchers from security from Chen Miko and Emisoft provided technical analysis. This is super, super scary and could really wipe the floor with lots of small businesses that don't have the best backup practices. Given the easy money available, scam rapper, it's not hard to see. So would you guys pay? I think I would be a little bit freaked out. Now I got stuff backed up, but, is it cheaper to pay the ransomware? Don't be clicking on stuff, folks, that you don't really know about, because this could end badly, and you could have to break out your credit card. And it's just ridiculous. It really is. Someone's got to figure out how to stop this crap. They really, really do. All right, over on The Verge, they've got a Windows 8.1 review, and I think you can get in the Windows 8.1 update now. So they've done a full review on the website and talking about the new design and how everything works. And they've done a real extensive job here talking about the UI changes and how things work differently, how the new start button works, side-by-side apps and how they can organize that better and so forth, how search has been changed, and SkyDrive Sync and Internet Explorer 11, and some other information about the store and so forth. Now, those of you that have made the upgrade to Windows 8 will want to make this to pull this down. So the folks over at the Register have come up with things to know about the update. The Windows Store is the only way for consumers, non-enterprise, non-IT pro to download and install Windows 8.1. No ISO will be made available, so each device needs to be updated individually via Windows Store. That really sucks. So you have to download this 3 gig, what's the size on this thing? 3.5 gig file. So, that may be frustrating for those of you on a little slower connection. But again, the size of the update varies based on which version of Windows 8 you have installed. But again, it's generally about 3.5 gigs. So you're going to want to have a reliable download connection. And I know some of you are on limited bandwidth, so that really even makes it suck more. And again, if you have multiple devices to upgrade, you have to download 20 separate, or if you have 20 PCs, you got to download 20 separate 3.5 gig downloads. So anyway, if you did the preview, you face an additional hurdle. When you upgrade to the final Windows 8.1 code, only their user account and data will be used. All their applications will have to be reinstalled. So that sucks if you've been running the pre-release. But this is available now. What is the price on this? You have to pay for this update. Oh, Windows 8 users get the update for free, and then you will be able to buy Windows 8.1 straight up. So let me know how that goes. I don't have any Windows machines. I actually got one on Windows 8, so I'll pull it out of the bag and actually update it. All right, Nexus 5 appeared in the Google Play Store for $349. So I think it was released a little early, but that's pretty cool. The listing appears to be made in error, and the phone cannot be bought, and no details are available. But a starting price of $349 for the 16 gig version, and it'll be available soon enough here. But it's cat's out of the bag. if you're looking for the Nexus 5, it's soon to be available. Xbox One and PlayStation 4 have helped AMD become profitable once more. Of course, AMD was losing a bunch of money. And because Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are using AMD chipsets, that's helped drive them into profitability for the previous quarter. BitTorrent site IsoHunt is shutting down after the MPAA lawsuit defeat. Check this out. As part of the deal, the owner, Fung, has 7 days to permanently shut down IsoHunt and 3 other domains, Podtropolis, TorrentBox, and it.com, all of which redirect to IsoHunt. He also agreed to pay the plaintiffs $110 million in damages. Holy cow. I hope he's got the cash. $110 million? Whew. Probably doesn't, but he'll be indebted for life. AT&T tries to reel in tablet users with a new $5 day pass and a 3-month data plan. So if you have basically an iPhone or an iPad or an Android device that's got an AT&T chipset, you can get a $5 day pass. So offer 250 megs of data to tablet owners. The plan can be purchased and enabled directly from tablets that offer cellular connectivity with AT&T. And also, they've got another new plan lets users pay $25 to receive 1 gig of data that can be used at any point over a period of 3 months. I think that's a pretty good one. That's actually the exciting one to me. $25 for a gig. And going to be looking at my wife's. Actually, our tablets now are on Verizon. The older tablets are AT&T. We don't have them turned on anymore. All right. Everyone knows a good night's sleep is obviously good for you. And they've been doing some studies, and basically it says that sleep might scrub away the gray matter waste. And I didn't think to myself, our brains create waste? But there's a new theory out, is that the brain eliminates unwanted byproducts while you're sleeping. And they go into some detail in this article on TheVerge.com talking about this. So I probably could use a little more sleep. And actually, I am sleeping a little bit more now. I'm sleeping on average 5 to 6 hours an evening when I can. But it's usually always awake by 5 a.m. So back it up to whatever time I can get in bed, which generally is never before 11. So usually the most about 6 hours, except on weekends when I'm able to get a little extra time on Sundays. Okay, so let's talk about an article around the Washington Examiner talking about the Affordable Care Act website. Check this out. The Obamacare website wasn't tested until a week before launch. This is incredible. And they have a table of basically how the system works and the interaction and how the databases it has to touch, which is, if you look at this, if you're a programmer, your brain's going to explode. But it says, and there's some folks that are coming out behind the scenes talking about talking about federal officials were not freezing requirements in time to permit full testing. A normal system like this would have took 4 to 6 months of testing and performance tuning, not 4 to 6 days. Apparently, there was some government employees in charge of system integration, which is unheard of in almost any government program. So that was a big, big mistake. Stan Z. Soleil, president and CEO of the trade association that represents hundreds of government service companies, reviewed major contracts in the project, included that the company CMS was the system integrator. He had no direct connection to the health. He had no direct connection to the healthcare government project, but he says the system integration piece is an important one because that's where it all comes together. And I don't see any evidence in any of these contracts that say the system integrator or overall management was someone like IBM. So he says that leads me to believe that CMS, as others have said they did, chose to do the integration of the systems themselves. He says one of the main reasons the government agency seeks to be a system integrator is for control. On one level, government wants to be careful to how much responsibility turns over to one entity, how much control, he said. But he represents 370 private sector companies that provide technical support to the federal government. And among his member companies is CGI Federal, the prime contractor that designs and operates healthcare.gov. CGI Federal is in the U.S. subsidiary of a CGI group based in Montreal, Canada. Other IT experts says highly unusual. And again, it would normally go to some big company that could shake it out that was used to doing these type of integrations. So, wow. Makes you go, So I know they're working hard to get this thing fixed, but it continues to be falling over in many, many places. All right, hold on to your hats. We're doomed. Again, astronomers spot an asteroid that could smash Earth in 2032. 2013 TB-135 would blow like 2,500 megatons of TNT. This discovered asteroid with snappy name of, again, 2013 TB-135 runs a slight chance of hitting Earth on August 26, 2002 and ruining everyone's day in a very big way. This 400-meter asteroid is threatening to blow up the Earth. Russian Vice Premier Dmitry Rogozin, who runs Russia's space industry, posted on a Twitter feed. Here is a super target for national cosmonautics. So they're running the numbers on this thing. And we'll see where this is. Anyway, they haven't got it nailed down yet, but they will. We've got a little time. Samsung set-top box uses MediaCore smart TV software to compete with Roku and Apple TV. And boy, the folks at The Verge did not mince any words. They said the smart TV software itself has never been a pleasure to use. And believe me, I could tell you some stories, but I can't. So some people are having troubles here. Anyway, I'll have a link up in the show notes. You guys can read this on your own. Google, boy, they made a lot of money. $15 billion in revenue for the quarter. Motorola, however, continued its downward decline as it posted another $250 million loss in spite of the Moto X launch. Page said that Google is also bullish on mobile video. And we already talked about that a little bit. And he said Chromebooks are doing well. They're selling in over 8,000 locations. Actually, I got a review unit, an HP Chromebook. I'll talk about that on the next show after I get it fully tested out. But they continue to make cash. I guess that's the important part. They're smiling. Had a buddy the other day text me, said, Todd, I got sideswiped. And we were talking a little bit about it and called him up and asked him if it was okay. And he said, yeah. And I said, so what happened? He said, well, some lady hit me in my, front corner panel. And I'm like, how bad was the damage? He sent me a picture and I was looking at it. And I said, so what was going on? And he said privately, he says, well, I was texting. And she admitted that she was texting as well. So both of them were not paying attention, and the lady that hit him obviously got blamed. He didn't admit that he was texting to the police, obviously, when they came and wrote the report. But two people texting, crashing into each other should not come as a surprise. So there's a suggestion out here that we should have an ignition-activated car mode that will keep drivers from texting. And they're suggesting that there needs to be some way when the car's turned on, send some sort of signal to the mobile device to put it into a very simple mode, disallow texting, only allow hands-free usage of the phone from a call standpoint, but they don't feel it will be used unless it's made mandatory. So there's a lot of discussion about that, but there is some prototypes out there on to do this. I think this would be good, especially with my kids. I got my daughter here getting ready to do a driver's test in, I think, 8 days. Maybe getting that big fat driver's license and then wanting to take dad's car out on the road. And then I have to make sure she's can be trusted not to be texting while driving. And that's same for dad too, not to be texting while driving. But anyway, long story short here, that could be something that's coming. Facebook has brought post editing and photo comments to iOS. So if you're an iOS user, you now can edit your Facebook post. And I've enjoyed it because I always have to make changes to my post because I'm always screwing things up. We're getting close here on time, There's some great photos of Saturn. Incredible. Some of the pictures are being taken by Cassini. So I'll have the link up in the show notes for you to take a look at that. Hulu has officially announced its new CEO as former Fox executive Mike Hopkins. Don't know too much about him, but Hulu's got a new boss. Those of you that have been doing direct messages on Twitter recently, you may have had problems sending a URL. Apparently, they've had some issues with spammers and have had to throttle some of that. So they're trying to come up with some fixes, and it's causing some people problems in sending direct messages with a URL. Great article over on CNET talking about highest engineer salary. So if you're looking for to earn some money here, here's some interesting dollar amounts. If you are a software engineer and you're working in Seattle, you can have an income of around $100,000. If you live in San Francisco, around $111,000. Los Angeles, 86, San Diego, 93, Denver, 80,000, Kansas City, 68,000, Chicago, 78, Philly, 77, Atlanta, 76,000, Miami, 70,000, Boston, 91,000, New York City, 85,000, Detroit, 70,000. So if you're looking to make some money, the national average for a software engineer right now is $92,790. 15,000 employers are hiring. Now, guess who is paying the most? Juniper Networks was paying its engineers $159,000 as an average base salary. So Juniper is the company to go to work for if you want to make some bank and you're a software engineer. I sent this link to my son and said, hey, I need to check this out. And he's come back in here, holy cow. Okay, just 2 weeks after the Fed started Silk Road, the notorious online drug bazaar, Bitcoin prices have touched a 5-month high, with a single Bitcoin fetching $156 on the Tokyo-based exchange Mt. Gox. Bitcoin resiliency can no longer be denied, so that's good news for the Bitcoin folks, all right? Okay, that's going to wrap me up for content. Let's see what I've got in the email inbox. Our last show was on the 14th. And what do we have? I had some email come in. How come I don't have anything? Oh, there they are. I knew there was. Let me make sure I have. Okay, so I got an email from MS Small Biz. Say, hey, Todd, only so good for audio podcasts, but great video. Be a great screen saver. He links to a article over in Open Culture. It's a stunning time lapse of lasers at the Mauna Kea Observatory. So that's a pretty cool one. Thanks for sending that over to me. And those were pretty cool. That the video stuff was awesome. I got an email from some of the folks that have actually contributed. So those folks that have contributed, we'll do a special dedication to all of you here in a few days. But thanks for those of you that have actually contributed via the crowdfunding and actually sending in some donations. One thing I am going to do tonight is I've got a new offer from B&H. Actually, I've got two offers. One for pre-orders on Sony cameras, and B&H is actually announcing some Fujifilm and cameras, the XE2. It's available for pre-order along with some lenses and so forth. So I'll have that link, some of that data in the show notes tonight. So if you're a Fuji fan, you can pre-order that. Or if you're a Sony fan, I'll have some of that stuff there too. So I guess that's what I've got for you tonight. My crowdfunding thing, our tech podcast crowdfunding thing. Get in there, make a donation, help us reach our $5,000 goal. We got a long ways to go. Got 60 days to do it. The faster we get there, the quicker I can quit harping for cash, and that's good. Of course, we want to thank you for supporting our sponsor, GoDaddy.com. You can get over at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy for all my promo codes and links that are available for you. But hope you enjoyed show 899. Next show, we hit 900, and we start the march to 1,000. That's just crazy, isn't it? If you think about it, it's nuts. It really, really is. But I'll give you guys some details. But everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. Thanks for listening or watching if you are. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care, and aloha. Those of you on YouTube, see you later.